Gonna give you a clear example of how the site would have looked before excavations, that is. The ground over here, okay, are structures which are not excavated. Okay? So archaeologists have, there are 3 doorways in the front, at the back there are 3 of them. Okay, that would be 5. And of course, when we were driving over to the site, you probably saw a lot of mounds along the way. So those are probably structures, and yes, there are structures which are not exposed. Most of the times, all these excavations would normally take place during the summer. Last month was the end of excavation season. So today, what we're going to be seeing is just the workers, local workers that is, completely just covering these structures up. Okay? Some of these cave mounds are excavated either from the bottom, from the top, that is, all the way to the center, or I mean to the bottom, or either from the front all the way to the bottom itself. Okay, notice that some of these structures were used as burials, that is, where important individuals, that is, would have been buried. Okay, remember that the Mayans believed in reincarnation or afterlife, that is. Okay, so before we start, before we continue, do you have any other questions? No? Right. Go.
So let's just get pictures of the surrounding area. What you see in this part here. We're going to be gathering on the shady part to my right. Okay, so we're going to talk about everything that sits in the valley, what all we have found out, what the buildings were used for.
And
so questions, huh?
How old are they?
We're getting that.
Oh.
So questions are welcome. One question per family. If you try to reward the same question and bring it up again, it's going to cost you $20. And if you insist on rewarding the questions, the price keeps getting higher and higher. Good? Any practice of mummification in this area here. So even today as we walk, you're going to find similarities with the Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, but there is a wide gap that separates all civilization from each other. That is the reason because Egyptians believe that when the pharaoh reaches to the heavens, the pharaoh stays in the heavens and becomes parts of the bodies of stars. Here in the Mundo Maya, if you were sacrificed to honor the gods, there was always the gift of reincarnation, which the god would grant you. So you would reincarnate in a different time period with a higher status in life. Sounds good? Any question? No. Good? Okay. So from this point forward, my good.
Tina, what was there?
The root represented the underworld. The root represented the underworld. There were 9 levels to reach to the underworld. This is again where evil spirits or evil gods were residing at. The trunk represented the living earth. Okay? And the branches, what do you believe the branches represented? Yes. Heaven. How many levels? So, no. So if the 9 was the unlucky number, which is underworld, what was their lucky number? 7. What is the number we most of the times consider as a bad luck? Bad 3.
13.
There you go. 13. So the Mayas believed that there were 13 levels to reach to heaven. So 13 for the Mayas was definitely considered a lucky number. Now, if you did realize and if you did count the doorways as we were halfway from El Castillo, there were 13 of them. Okay, 13 doorways. Okay, so that's exactly what the black hats normally represent. They're holding the corner of the earth. Now, on the side, right there, you can see a U shape. See the U shape? That's the moon goddess known as Itchel, goddess of birth, fertility, and medicine. Now, if you do take a closer look at the shape, you're going to notice that it looks like the shape of a... Shape of what? No. What? No. Remember, it's shell, goddess of birth, fertility, and medicine. The womb, the uterus, representation of life. Remember, moon goddess, it's shell. Okay, so the moon goddess is shell. Right to the center, we have a very important god, the rain god, Chak or Chak. Okay. Remember the part I mentioned about the sacrifices. So at the end of the what caused the Mayas to collapse? Yes, definitely yes. Okay, so at that point they were desperate. So they would ask the rain god, they would make sacrifices to their gods. So this is where the bloodletting would basically come into handy. Okay, offerings made to the rain god. Now notice that sacrifices most of the times were held inside caves. Caves were considered to be entrance to the underworld, or Shibalba again. Okay, now, any questions? Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering what's underneath that structure right there, completely covered with zinc. Now, a couple of years back, they did some excavation, and they found a room. Okay, now the room itself, we don't have access to the room because it's we could say protected. Why? Because they found some graffitis on the wall made by the Mayas. Now, face of a jaguar, a little drawing of a Valcourt, an individual performing a bloodletting ritual, and this mentioned the face of a jaguar, right? Yes. Okay. So yes, that's exactly why it's covered, because a lot of times people will just write their names on the wall. So they're protecting these important parts of the site, that is. Okay? Now if you do want to take a look, I'm going to pass my phone around and then you just scroll at the pictures itself. Okay? Those are the actual graffitis that are right.
Sounds like, wow.
All I got to say is,
They did, but the rope broke and the horses passed on.
oh wow, hieroglyphics. Is this a flying microphone?
I'm out somewhere else.
I hear you.
Hey.
My mom just went out. You ready to go? Do you need it? No. That's it.
Right here for a minute.
Oh, there you are. You're like on the now.
Don't sit on the ledge.
Nope. I almost went through that way and I was like, nah, it's too narrow there.
Take it nice and slow. Fall into people.
You gotta like squat down or something. It's quite intense.
Yeah, maybe you put the water in your bag.
You want to go? Sure.
Did she get her phone back?
Right to it. Move it all the way down. Yeah, breathe. Come on. Keep on hand. Yeah, keep a little bit of step here. Right there. Yep, there you go. Look to the right. Look toward the hand.
Can I grab it back?
There you go.
Okay.
Yep. Good job. All right. Come around again.
You did. You did a good job. I'm proud of you. Seriously. I didn't know I should have had to. I like all
Oh, y'all. Now that's their bowl. Archaeologists have discovered here at Xunantunich a bowl hoop, evidence of a bowl hoop where the Mayas will score their points for the winners. So this game was actually started by a twin heroes. They used to play this ball game as a funny game, as a friendly game, but for the Xibalba, who was the underworld god, it was so destructive because they bounced the ball every time, every minute on the floor, which was the roofing of the Xibalba's house. So he defeated those two twin heroes to go to the underworld and play this ball game. They lose the game and they were sacrificed. On other Maya cities, the losers were the ones being sacrificed. Let's take the old story as per the sacrifice. But when these twin heroes actually lose the game, the Xibalba decapitated one of them and the other was other kind of sacrifice. So he found out a calabash tree. He placed the head on a calabash tree and he had one daughter. His daughter went to see the calabash tree and when she got there, she realized that this calabash tree was alive. So they started to believe on reincarnation. So this person never realized that the head split on her hand and she gets pregnant. She gave birth to twin heroes who was Ixbalanque and Cunahu. Those two twin heroes were the ones that continued the ball game and then they picked the underworld god, the Xibalba, to come with them and play this ball game. They were the winners and they sacrificed themselves. They offer it as a very good offering to their gods and to their ancestors. So it is said that the winners were the ones sacrificed. Here, on this ballpark, while archaeologists were cleaning, they found evidence of decapitation. So the captain of the winning team was sacrificed. This team here, actually, this game was played oftenly if there was a ceremonial, religious ceremonial or a political ceremony. So if it was a religious ceremonial, the winning team was the one being sacrificed. So, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's
Are you
divide.
captain?
Oh, yeah, that's what you don't want to be, is the captain.
Okay, so any questions? Last part of this tour, last temple, and a recent excavation that has been done on this site here. So this temple here was discovered in 2016 by Dr. Jaime Awe along with the University of Northern Arizona. This archaeologist is one of the main archaeologists here, a local archaeologist that is still working on this city. So, according to him, this is a tomb. This is the largest tomb found here at Xunantunich. Inside of this tomb, he discovered evidence of human beings, evidence of animals. He also found obsidian weapons, animals remaining, which is, they believe that might be a deer or a jaguar, but most of the times they believe that it's most a jaguar than a deer. The jaguar actually plays a very important role in the life of the Mayans. The jaguar actually represents the underworld god, which is the Xibalba, and also represents the spots, the black and orange spots represent day and night. So, along beside this person, he found these two panels. These two panels, according to archaeologists, have a very secret history about the Snake dynasty, who was the king of Caracol, the biggest Maya city here in Belize. So the person that was discovered here is a female. This person was the queen of Xunantunich, the first person that starts managing and governing this Maya city. So, the name of this person is unknown as yet because the evidence has been destroyed. So this stela was where they believe that it might be the name and information about this person here. So, any questions?
Wait, did they find the king?
No. They just have found evidence of a queen up to now. But maybe on the future when you come back, they will be having the king, right? Any other questions?
Why was